15,000 years ago, this thing existed. A 120-pound apex predator with a bite force strong enough to crack the femur of a moose. It hunted in coordinated packs. It had no natural enemies. It could smell your fear from 2 kilometers away. And frankly, it had every reason to want you dead. This is also that animal. Somewhere between these two creatures, something went deeply, hilariously wrong, or right, depending on how you feel about vacuuming up dog hair for the rest of your life. So here's the question nobody really asks at the dog park. How did we get from a killing machine to a creature whose primary hobby is licking its own feet? The answer is weirder than you think, because the truth is, we didn't really domesticate dogs. They kind of domesticated themselves, and they did it by going through our garbage. For a long time, the popular theory was that some incredibly brave or incredibly stupid caveman snuck up to a wolf den, stole a litter of puppies, raised them by hand, and boom, best friend forever. Yeah, that didn't happen. Think about it. Wolf mothers are not chill. If you've ever tried to take a chew toy away from a Labrador, now imagine that toy is her actual child, and she weighs more than you. Our ancestors were many things, but suicidal kidnappers of apex predator infants? Mostly no. The real theory is way more interesting. It's called self-domestication. Around 15 to 40,000 years ago, humans started living in semi-permanent camps. And wherever humans live, humans produce one very specific, very magical thing. Trash. Glorious, calorie-rich, nobody else wants it trash. Bones with marrow still inside. Fat scraps. Half-finished mammoth ribs that Greg didn't feel like eating, because Greg is picky. To a wolf, this pile was basically an all-you-can-eat buffet that required zero hunting. No chasing elk for 9 hours. No getting kicked in the face by a bison. Just walk up, grab a bone, leave. But here's the catch. To eat the trash, you had to tolerate the humans. And most wolves couldn't. They were too aggressive, too high-strung, too rip your face off on principle. Except for a few weirdos. The ones who were just a little bit braver, a little bit calmer, a little bit more willing to put up with the loud naked monkeys in exchange for free food. Those wolves ate well. Those wolves had more puppies. Those puppies were also chill. And that right there is evolution doing its thing. Biologists have a name for the invisible bubble around a wild animal. It's called flight distance. Basically how close you can get before the animal panics and either runs away or tries to eat your face. For a normal wolf, that bubble is huge. Like, if you can see it, it can see you. And it's already calculating your weight in steaks. Huge. But for the chill wolves hanging around human camps, that bubble got smaller and smaller and smaller. And here's where it gets weird. Because when an animal stops being stressed all the time, its body literally starts to change. Less adrenaline, less cortisol, fewer stress hormones flooding through the system every single day. And those hormones? They control a lot. Smaller jaws, smaller teeth, floppy ears, because the cartilage develops differently. Curly, wagging tails, patchy, multicolored coats. Even the skull shape changes, they start looking more like puppies. Forever. We know this isn't just a theory because of a famous experiment. In 1959, a Russian scientist named Dmitry Belyaev decided to test this. He took a bunch of wild silver foxes and started breeding them based on one trait: how chill they were around humans. He didn't breed for floppy ears. He didn't breed for spots. He didn't breed for wagging tails. He only bred for doesn't try to murder the scientist. And within just a few generations, the foxes started looking like dogs. Floppy ears, spotted fur, wagging tails. They started barking. They wanted to be petted. He didn't design dogs. He just removed the fear, and the dog appeared. So now we've got humans and proto-dogs sharing real estate, and the partnership was actually genius. The wolves got food. Easy. But what did the humans get? 2 things. First, an alarm system. A wolf can hear a saber-toothed cat from a kilometer away. While our ancestors were sleeping in a cave, dreaming about inventing the wheel, the proto-dogs were on patrol. Anything weird? They bark. Free home security. 2-million-year warranty. Second, a cleanup crew. All those scraps and bones lying around the camp were attracting bigger predators. Hyenas, bears, things you really didn't want sniffing around the kids. The proto-dogs ate the scraps before the scary stuff showed up. In return, humans gave them food and protection from rival wolf packs. And here's the kicker. Some anthropologists think this partnership is part of how Homo sapiens outcompeted the Neanderthals. The Neanderthals were stronger than us, smarter than we used to give them credit for, But as far as we can tell, they never partnered with wolves. We had teammates. They didn't. Game over. Now here's the part that's going to ruin your life. Dogs evolved a muscle specifically to manipulate you. It's called the levator anguli oculi medialis. Snappy name. It's the muscle that lifts the inner eyebrow and creates that big, sad, I'm a baby, and you're my whole world expression. Wolves don't have this muscle, or barely have it. Dogs evolved it, from scratch, in about 30,000 years, just to look more cute to us. Studies have shown that dogs in shelters who can do the eyebrow thing get adopted faster, which means we, the humans, have been actively selecting for this look. Without realizing it, they didn't just evolve to live with us. They evolved a face designed to hack our brains. And we fell for it. Completely. So no, we didn't tame the wolf. Not really. A long time ago, on a cold night, somewhere in Europe or Asia, a wild animal decided that we were less scary than starvation, and it crept just a little bit closer to the fire. And we, for some reason, didn't throw a rock at it. We let it stay. It guarded our children, it hunted with us, it buried our dead beside us. Across thousands of years, it changed its body, its face, even its eyes, all to be closer to us. And in return, we built it sweaters and named it Bartholomew and let it sleep on the bed, even though it shedded everywhere. We didn't domesticate a wolf. We invited a stranger into our home, and somewhere along the way, the stranger became family.